Ever found yourself replaying the same argument in your mind over and over again, even days, weeks, or even years later? Have you ever felt the weight of resentment towards someone who wronged you, even though that person may not even be thinking about you anymore? Or perhaps, deep inside, you carry guilt for mistakes you made in the past moments that haunt you when you're alone at night. Why do we hold on so tightly to pain, anger, and negativity, even when it drags us down? What would life look like if you could finally release that burden and free yourself from the heavy chains of negative energy? These are questions that sit quietly in the corners of our hearts, questions that we often avoid because the answers are not simple. And yet, the journey to true freedom, peace, and emotional clarity begins by confronting these very questions. The art of letting go is not just about releasing people who hurt us or forgiving mistakes. It is about reclaiming the power we give away to negativity and choosing every single day to create space for healing, joy, and inner peace. Letting go is a skill, an art form, something that requires patience, awareness, and courage. It is about unlearning the patterns that keep us stuck and discovering new ways of being that allow us to flow with life rather than resist it. As we embark on this exploration together, I invite you to reflect on your own life. What are you still holding on to? Is it anger towards someone who betrayed your trust? Is it fear of failing again? Is it regret for the opportunities you missed? By the time we reach the end of this journey, my hope is that you'll have not just insight, but practical tools to help you free yourself from negative energy and embrace a new way of living. To understand why letting go is so difficult, we must first understand why we cling so tightly to negativity in the first place. At first glance, it seems illogical. Why would anyone choose to hold on to pain? But human beings are not purely logical creatures. We are emotional beings shaped by memories, attachments, and experiences. Sometimes, we hold on to negative emotions because they give us a sense of identity. If someone wronged us deeply, we may feel that by staying angry, we're keeping their injustice alive, refusing to let it go unpunished. In a way, anger becomes a shield. If we stay angry, we protect ourselves from being hurt again. Resentment becomes proof that we were wronged and that our pain is valid. Other times, we hold on to guilt because we think it's the only way to prove that we've truly learned from our mistakes. We punish ourselves, replaying our failures in our minds, as if that suffering can somehow redeem us. And yet, what it really does is trap us in a cycle of self-blame, preventing growth and healing. Fear, too, has its grip. Fear convinces us that if we never let go of what happened, we can somehow prevent it from happening again. It whispers to us, don't forget, don't forgive, don't relax, stay alert. But what fear doesn't tell us is that living this way is not really living at all. It's merely surviving, shackled to the past and unable to move freely into the future. So here's the truth. Holding on may feel like safety, but in reality, it is a prison. Letting go is not about denying the pain, nor is it about pretending that what happened doesn't matter. It is about acknowledging it fully, accepting that it happened, and choosing to release the hold it has over you so you can live freely again. When we talk about letting go, forgiveness naturally comes into play. But let's pause and clarify. Forgiveness does not mean excusing someone's harmful actions. It does not mean pretending that betrayal, abuse, or cruelty are acceptable. Forgiveness means refusing to allow those actions to have control over your heart and mind any longer. Think about this. When you hold on to anger at someone, who suffers more, you or them? Often, the person you're angry with has moved on with their life, perhaps without even realizing how much pain they've caused. Meanwhile, you are left carrying the heavy load, exhausting yourself with emotions that eat away at your peace. Forgiveness is an act of liberation, not for the other person, but for yourself. It is saying, I refuse to let your actions define my happiness. I release this bitterness, not because you deserve it, but because I deserve peace. And let's not forget forgiveness toward ourselves. How many of us still replay mistakes from years ago? A failed relationship, a poor decision, an opportunity lost? We sometimes hold ourselves to impossible standards of perfection, forgetting that mistakes are not proof of failure. They are proof of humanity. To forgive yourself is to look in the mirror and say, yes, I stumbled. Yes, I hurt others or myself. But I am worthy of growth. I am worthy of moving forward. Self-forgiveness opens the door to healing. It allows us to stop being our own jailers and instead become our own allies in the journey toward freedom. Letting go is not something that happens overnight. It is a process, sometimes messy, sometimes painful, but always transformative. How can we begin? Start by cultivating awareness. The first step in letting go is noticing what you are holding on to. Pay attention to the thoughts that repeat in your mind, the emotions that flare up when you think of a certain person or event. Awareness is like turning on the light in a dark room. It doesn't solve everything immediately, but it gives you clarity on what's really there. Next, practice acceptance. This does not mean approval, it simply means acknowledging reality as it is. What happened, happened. The pain is real. The betrayal occurred. But no amount of replaying the past can undo it. By accepting what is, you stop fighting with reality, which is a battle you can never win. Then, shift your focus to what you can control. You cannot change the past, nor can you control other people's actions. But you can choose how you respond today. You can choose whether to carry resentment or to release it. You can choose whether to punish yourself endlessly for past mistakes or to use them as stepping stones for growth. Another powerful practice is mindfulness. By grounding yourself in the present moment through meditation, deep breathing, or simply noticing your surroundings, you create space between yourself and your emotions. You begin to see anger, fear, or guilt as passing states, not permanent identities. Finally, replace what you let go of with something positive. Nature abhors a vacuum, and so does the human heart. If you release bitterness, fill that space with compassion. If you release fear, fill it with courage. If you release guilt, fill it with self-love. Letting go is not just about release, it's about transformation. Imagine, for a moment, what your life would feel like if you truly let go of everything weighing you down. Imagine waking up in the morning without the knot of anger in your chest. Imagine walking through your day without the heavy shadow of regret following you. Imagine speaking to others without the voice of fear whispering in your ear. What would you do differently if you felt free? How would your relationships change? How much more energy would you have to pursue the dreams and passions that matter to you? The freedom that comes from letting go is not abstract. It is real, tangible, and life-changing. It allows you to step into each moment with clarity and presence, unburdened by the past. It gives you the gift of lightness, of being fully alive. So I ask you again, what are you holding on to? And more importantly, what is it costing you to keep holding on? The art of letting go is not easy, but it is worth every ounce of effort. It is worth it because your peace is worth it. Your joy is worth it. Your freedom is worth it. Every time we choose forgiveness over resentment, acceptance over resistance, and love over fear, you reclaim a piece of your power. You remind yourself that you are not defined by what happened to you, nor by the mistakes you made. You are defined by your ability to rise, to grow, and to live fully. Letting go is not the end, it is the beginning. The beginning of a life lived with more peace, more clarity, and more freedom than you ever imagined possible.